My very first client and I have been working together for many years. And over those years, I've been able to run Kaizen events and provide support for 9 global locations. These days, I don't do much work with them, but I do check in with them from time to time. The goal is obviously to make them self sufficient, and they've really done a nice job of doing that. One of the clients in Missouri was doing quite well. They were doing some really amazing things from a continuous improvement culture standpoint. But one area that they felt was plateauing was their daily boardwalk, which I would call a Gemba walk. And when I met with the leader from that site, he told me that it just felt like they were following the same routine every day. And it didn't feel like the team was well engaged or things were really progressing because of those daily walks. Something was missing, and he really wanted to take it to the next level. So together, we chartered a Kaizen focused on improving those boardwalks for many reasons, but the biggest one was improving performance, strengthening their culture of continuous improvement, and strengthening employee engagement. Now, we invited representatives from multiple locations of the company, and the day of the event, we had probably 30 different representatives, many from the plant, mostly managers, some other locations, one operator, I wanted more, and one mechanic, I wanted more. So after doing some lean review and getting to know each other, we took a Gemba walk. We actually did the boardwalk. And what we saw was approximately 15 to 20 people walking from location to location, asking the same 3 questions at a whiteboard with an operator trying to answer them. They'd get those questions answered and then they'd move on. And it seemed like nothing was really happening because of that discussion. So we came back into the room, we downloaded what people had seen, and I noticed there was something missing. And I knew what it was, but I needed the team to see it. So I started asking a series of questions, and I get to the point of getting, who is the boardwalk for? Who did we design it for? Who should we design it for? And managers raised their hand and said, well, of course, for the operators and mechanics. And I asked more questions about that. And I noticed in the back of the room, the operator looked a little stressed by that answer. So I started to ask deeper, more probing questions, and finally got the operator to respond, hey, I always assumed this boardwalk was for the management. I get no value from it. And at that moment, everything changed. Managers realized, hey, if we step back, we're not doing it for them, we're doing it for us. They're not getting anything from it. He just confirmed it. So we value streamed, mapped the whole boardwalk process, and realized if you put yourself in from the perspective of the operator as the customer, none of the steps, none of them provided any value. Well, that changed everything. Now they could do something about it. So they looked at those steps, they looked at their process, and they came up with some really cool ideas. They redesigned their boardwalk, created a pilot, and we tried it on one production line. And basically, instead of sending 15 and 20 people around line by line, they were going to create a dedicated team of 3 or 4 per line and create a relationship, follow-up, engagement, and ask questions that really would matter to help the next 24 hours on that production line. What was really cool about that was we tried it a few times. It felt very awkward, but then we got into a rhythm, and it seemed like our operators really felt heard and the engagement skyrocketed. But more than that, not only did performance improve, but activity and engagement on other lines grew. Within a month, they rolled out that concept to every line in their plant, and there was a jump significantly in productivity and employee engagement. More than that, other sites took what they learned and they started incorporating it into their daily processes as well. But so what's the real lesson here? When you think you know what your customer needs, you can always ask them, but sometimes the deeper, more powerful way to do it is walk a mile in their shoes and truly understand, am I or am I not providing value for that customer? If you're not, now you know what you can work on.
I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.